Hey everyone, this is LuckySevenDX. Welcome back to Let's Play Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. In the last episode, we are going to make our way over to Plack Beach, the clifftop, because on the clifftop is apparently the third Star Sage and the third Star Cure, and that's all fine and dandy, but there's penguins with drills for their noses, and they are now our new enemy to face. So, I guess we'll start the episode off by showing them off. Except there's also these drillbit crabs, and they're very freaking annoying. I really hate these crabs. They're just obnoxiously annoying. I always hate having to time anything with the hammer because I just can't seem to do it properly. I don't remember what the penguins are called at the top of my head, but their attack basically is they'll pop up on the ground if they hit them, unless they're carrying a boulder. If they're carrying a boulder, do not do anything, because if you hit the boulder, a bomb will come out and hit you. So it's sort of if hit him when he doesn't have a boulder, don't hit him when he does have a boulder. Sort of one of those sort of things. You know, they have like mini games in Mario Party all the time that are like that. You know. Only do make sure you hit correctly, or else that'll happen right there, and then you'll blow up, and then you're set. That's why I hate these guys though, because the amount of time you have to decide is actually pretty quick, and that does make things a little annoying. They're called Pendrils. It's actually kind of a cool name, I guess. It works, I suppose. So yeah, just keep smacking them. Unfortunately, this for some reason does not do counterattack damage, despite the fact that we're whacking it in the face with a hammer. You'd think that would hurt, but apparently it doesn't. Anyway, you last 2 or 3 times, and he'll quit his attack, and then he'll go back. You can lay some smack down on him, and all will be K. Now there's a switch up there. Well, obviously, that's kind of gonna be our shortcut to the top for later on. So we'll pick that up later. But that's basically all it is. It's just a little shortcut. Those pipes generally tend to be shortcuts, in case you guys haven't noticed. Anyway, so this whole episode is basically going to just be climbing and more climbing, and occasionally collecting beans as well, because we're still getting all the Plack Beach beans, but those will mostly be collected next episode, where I do all the Plack Beach side questy stuff, because those of you who know this game know that there is a very major side quest on Plack Beach, and we're going to definitely want to take care of that one as soon as possible, because the rewards for that are actually pretty darn spiffy, and you'll pretty much enjoy that as well. Another thing, interesting thing about this whole the whole side questy sort of thing interspersed with the main story is we're actually be picking up a lot of new attacks from Mario and Luigi in the next few episodes, which is going to be pretty cool. You definitely get a lot of very interesting attacks coming up, which is good because in case you guys haven't noticed, like for this stage of the game, like compared to say Partners in Time or even Superstar Saga in a sense, although Superstar Saga didn't have that many attacks, but like compared to Partners in Time, we have very few attacks from Mario and Luigi in comparison. So. I mean, soon we're going to be rounded out. There's actually still is a lot of attacks in this game. It's just that you tend to get a lot of them in the later half of the game than early on, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, there's a lot of extra coins here. There's a bean over here as well. Make sure you pick that up. And sort of fell down. Just making sure that there's nothing else over here. Yeah, I did pick up the bean. Okay, good. Bean has been gotten. I do need it, but don't need to care about it anymore because I've gotten it. And we get flower gloves, and as this we might expect, it raises the fire flower power 20%. Like I give a freaking shit about the fire flower. No thank you. Do not want. I don't even the fire flower, as you guys have noticed, is the one. It's like the ability in the game that I just like refuse to acknowledge its existence because I just do not like it at all. Mostly because for some reason when I try, A, it doesn't do that much damage anyway, and B, like for some reason I just can't seem to press the button rapidly enough for it to even work properly. So I guess screw the fire flower. We're just gonna move on. And yeah, I jumped on one of those guys. Freaking annoying Pendril things. But yeah, as you can see, that's what you should do when you have this boulder. You should dodge it. That's generally the better strategy to do, as opposed to hitting it and taking damage. Although I still took damage there anyway, because I don't know, just, I never know, and of course there's a crab right there. Freaking hell. Oh, these guys are annoying. But hey, we're getting a lot of EXP from it, and that's pretty cool. We won't get enough I'm pretty sure we're not going to get enough EXP to make it to the next rank, unfortunately, so we can't visit the super luxurious shop until later. And we will visit it later. We will stop by and grab the stuff later on, but as expected, that's pretty much where all the end game equipment is going to be, because level 25 to 30-ish is probably about when we're about how much we're going to end up. Also, these cliffs are so weird. Have you noticed that? Like, the walls are like super freaking thin. I don't know, that's just kind of a bit odd how these cliffs are just like a bunch of thin structures. I don't know. I don't think rock naturally forms that way, although, given the craftsmanship of the background, I guess we'll have to assume that this cliff is artificial. Almost sort of looks like a Minecraft cliff of all the different blocks and stuff. There's nothing here, unfortunately. But yeah, it's all, squares and stuff like that. Kind of almost reminds you of the Thwomp Mountain back in Partners in Time. Kind of interesting. Anyway, as you can see, when we're all big and fat, we can ride up on these air currents. I haven't really mentioned that yet. just get new heights. It's very similar to how you ride air curds using the spin, the Toadsworth twist, as I still like to call it, even though it's not really that, it's just a spin jump. And I think there's something over the right here. Let's quickly go ahead and grab that. Of course, even though I don't really show it, the map on the bottom screen is really helpful in these areas because it does show you where all the hidden stuff is. I'm not really going to show it though, just because I don't want to have, because then I have to pretty much have like both screens on at all times. The map isn't really that needed. I'm showing where all the good stuff is anyway, so you don't need the map. I'll be your map. Don't worry, you can trust me with that. Anyway, so we got ourselves some stuff, and now we're going to head onto the other side, where is where we need to go to continue the area and meet ourselves a sage, because that's what we need to do in this episode, as I've mentioned several times. Trying to think if is there anything else going on in this episode. I think it's pretty much just doing this whole cliff thing, which does take a little bit. I mean, it's not that long of an area, but and there's nothing too really that significant about it. But what happens when we get on the top is actually rather interesting. It's a very unique idea of how what they decided to do here for and I use this term very lightly, boss battle. You'll see what I mean when we get to it. It's very interesting. It's going to lead to the rest of the whole main story part of this section of the game. And like I said before, by the way, guys, I did mention that I consider this game to be a game of 3 acts. The first act being, of course, the Bowser is going to his castle thing. The second act being what we're currently at, which is the whole Star Cure, collecting all the Star Cures thing. And then after that's going to be Peach's Castle. And let me tell you, Peach's Castle is a whole act in itself. So those of you who are thinking, man, he almost has the third Star Cure, he's almost done with this game. I am nowhere near done with this game, believe me. Believe you me. Not to mention the fact that these next few, there's gonna be so many side questy stuff next few episodes that it's going to actually be a while since we even really finish this whole section of the game. So disregarding that though, the whole Peach's Castle segment is extremely long as well. Not even anywhere close to how long Peach's Castle was in Partners in Time. So those of you thinking that this project's almost done, you guys still have a long way to go, and it's gonna be fun though. I mean, I'm still loving this game. I'm in no hurry to end it yet. But we've made it to the top of the cliff. All is well and fine and dandy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and basically go meet the third stage. Because he's up here on this cliff, and well, the text will tell you how to do it. See, he's somewhere on Plack Beach, and well, we already know that. We're already up on the cliff where he's at. It's pretty obvious, I would think, by now. Text, you are no help whatsoever. But that's okay, Text, we still love you. Anyway, so he's right over here. And we'll have ourselves a nice merry little cutscene as we talk to this guy, who, if his manner of speaking might seem a bit familiar, and his name, Chakron, might seem familiar, and I think he actually will, I forget if he says it now. Also, watch Luigi, because it's really funny, he tries to imitate this pose. Because as you can see, that's not his head, that's one of his arms on his head there. He's like an octopus. He's like a sage octopus that's doing intense meditation with this really weirdly, odd pose. Because supposedly this pose makes the energies of the heaven pour upon him. But he's actually the guy who runs the Chakrron. So the guy who's been teleporting Bowser everywhere with our minds. That's him. He's with our minds, dude. So hello. It's kind of cool that they have this mysterious guy, and they actually do reveal who he is later on in the game, which is pretty cool. Even though Bowser will never know who he is, because Bowser obviously has no means of coming up here. But this guy's been in this pose for 1,000 years, which is just absolutely freaking ridiculous. That right there is some pretty severe dedication, and unfortunately because of that, his body no longer has the ability to move out of this pose because he's been in it for 1,000 years. I guess that makes sense. But no amount of tickling or hammer shaking will do it. So what we need to do basically, in order to get the third star here, is basically come up with an attack that will knock him over. So let's try jumping on him. As you can see, does nothing. So he does get the boss music, so I guess it's technically a boss fight, but it's not really because it doesn't do damage to you. But as you can see, we're not really doing any sort of damage to him. Bro attacks aren't really working. We don't really have any means of knocking him down yet. So we're just going to sort of keep wailing at him, see if we can get something to work here. But alas, it seems like nothing so far is working. Maybe a hammer. Hammer to the face. Not quite. Is there anything else I can do with Luigi? I'll just go up with another hammer. Maybe Luigi has the power. No, Luigi does not have the power. And after 2 turns, he gives up, and you start ending the fight. So you can continue to fight as many times as you want, but unfortunately for us, we have no means of taking him down at the moment. Not even a shimmy. We need a ground-shaking attack. So basically, what we need to do in order to knock him over and get the third star here is to go find ourselves a new attack piece and get a new special attack. Which, as he reveals, it's in the wood, which he knows because he's like this all-seeing third sage dude. because outer space knows everything for some reason. Space! But yeah, it is in the woods, so later on we're going to have to go to Dimblewood and get ourselves the attack found there, and from that we will be able to, oh, I almost fell off there about getting the switch. Probably should get the switch there. But from that we'll be able to knock him over and get the 3rd star cure. So kind of interesting how they do that. You know, it's not really a boss fight as much as like, go get an attack and use it on me sort of thing. Which sort of makes you have to actually go out to Dimblewood and get an attack. So for those of you who thought that this whole 3rd star cure thing would be a piece of cake, nope, we still need to go all the way over to Dimblewood. And there's actually quite a lot to do there in Dimblewood. There's a couple interesting sections in Dimblewood to deal with. So we're going to do that. But today, guys, we get to meet not only one sage, but 2 sages, because this is Cuzzle, the Koopa that Bowser stole the 2nd star cure from. So this is actually the 2nd star cure sage dude person thing. So we met the 3rd one, and now we met the 2nd one. Kind of cool. But he's just going to be part of a side quest. He's not really anything necessary, because we already got his star cure technically. We got that from Bowser's safe, because Bowser stole it from him. You, sir, are a failure of a Star Sage if you let your Star Cure get stolen from you. Then again, as you can see, he's an old man, and he sort of has, he's very old, and sort of, he doesn't really, know, he's very, I guess, senile. He sort of forgets what he's said before, and he's sort of a little slow, you know, old age. Gotta respect your elders, guys, because they're old and they know a lot of stuff and they're pretty cool like that. That was the worst explanation ever. But as you can see, his side questy gimmick is going to be all about doing puzzles. So hurrah, we have more puzzles to do. As you can see, this one's going to actually give us attack pieces. So pretty nifty side quest will actually give us a new attack, which is pretty awesome. Although, there's going to be a lot more puzzle side questy stuff to do, which we're going to take care of next episode, because this whole side quest thing sort of takes a while. And while we do this whole puzzle side quest, we'll be able to wrap up all the rest of the pieces on Plack Beach, which is pretty cool. Normally I would say, you know, get the corners first and then get all the walls, although in this one's definitely a pretty easy puzzle, just because the whole spin pipe in the middle and the whole Goomba on the bottom make pretty much the whole entire middle column, like, really easy to figure out. But in the meantime, you just want to fill in the sides here, because that always does help out a lot when you can do that. And that's basically just how you do the puzzles. They're pretty simple. I don't really think I really need to explain how to do puzzles that much. I pretty much already did that before anyway. So we'll just quickly go ahead and finish up this puzzle. And yeah, so we're gonna get ourselves a new attack. And this is in case you guys forgot, there's that Toad back in the thing, back in Totally Clinic. There we go, that's the name. Who was like, there's a puzzle piece on, or there's an attack piece on Plack Beach and Bowser's Castle. So these are the 2 optional, like super optional attack pieces we can get. There's one here, which is the one we're doing right now, and then there's the one in Bowser's Castle that we can also get, which we'll stop by and grab that one way later in the game. I mean, you saw that there were enemies that we can fight with Mario and Luigi down in Bowser Castle Underground, so we'll have to stop there eventually. That is where we're going to find the other attack piece. So we'll get around to doing that soon enough. And from there, we can go ahead and get the rest of the attack pieces, or all these really cool special attacks. And also, interestingly enough, the special attacks you can find both here and in Bowser's Castle are the ones, and also you can just sort of use these colors, as you can see, to figure out which pieces go where. So this one's there, and then there's that blue one somewhere. Yeah, that one right there. And obviously, it's a pretty easy puzzle to finish. Anyway, like I was saying, these 2 optional ones, so this one and the one in Bowser's Castle, they will be the last 2 ones we can actually do the Cluster Road on. So now we technically, since we have a new special attack here, because it's going to unlock, as you're going to see in a second, it's going to explode into puzzles! Or attack piece puzzle things. The puzzle's going to become a puzzle, and then the puzzle inside the puzzle is going to become an attack, because puzzles and attacks and stuff and things. Indeed. But yeah, this is going to be a Cluster Road one. Actually a pretty easy Cluster Road one in my opinion. But we'll actually be able to finish off the entire Cluster Road within this whole side quest series of episodes that we're going to be doing, which is pretty cool. You do actually get a reward for getting A's on every single thing in the Cluster Road. A really good reward. So you guys have that to look forward to. Very good rewards coming out soon enough. But as you can see, the spin pipe, definitely one of my favorite ones. I do love this one a lot. What you need to do is keep track of whether Mario or Luigi are on top or are on the bottom. And press whichever one's on the bottom then. So if Mario's on the bottom, press A. If Luigi's on the bottom, press B. The way I tend to do this, just watch everyone's on the bottom, and then just keep your eyes focused on that bottom piece. Watch it sort of spin around, and then react accordingly. Because if whoever's on the, say Mario's on the bottom when you hit someone, then watch the bottom so you'll know where Mario is. If Mario ends up on top, press B for Luigi. If Mario ends up on the bottom, obviously press A for Mario. And then you just go from there. I always watch whoever's on bottom, keep track of who he is. It's generally my way of doing it. You can also just keep track of where, like, say, Mario is, and just keep track of that one spot as well. There's plenty of ways you can do it, but the main way you really want to do this is just focus on one part of the pipe. Don't try to memorize where both locations are, because just memorize where one is, because then you can infer where the other one is pretty easily. So overall, pretty simple attack from that. However, like I said, the side quest is nowhere near done. We're gonna have to do a lot of this second star stage, because, you know, he missed out. Man, there's this whole, like, segment with, like, the wisdom and, like, the first star cure. She had a whole segment, and now we have this whole segment with Chakron. But Cuzzle, poor Cuzzle misses out, so, you know, we're gonna spend some time with him. We're gonna complete his house, because apparently he's lost all his furniture and it's turned into puzzles for some strange reason. And we're going to go rescue his furniture, fill his house up, make him feel nice and happy, and we'll get a nice reward for it. As he said, he's going to give us beans for it, and believe me, he's going to give us a shit ton of beans. And that's, like, going to be, like, 1 or 2 levels of HP, SP, and power for all the bros just in himself with these beans. I think it's about, I want to say it's, like, 39 beans total. Just, 39, it's 13 of each kind of bean, I know, so you get 1 of each. And also you get this little story about the Star Cure, which is pretty cool as well. He talks about the Star. He just rambles on like an old man. I love Cuzzle. He's such a cool guy. He's so hip. He's so hip and happening and cool and awesome. Just gotta love Cuzzle. So next episode, guys, we're going to be rescuing his furniture, like I said, and we're going to be spending some quality time with Cuzzle and making him feel better about losing the Star Cure, because apparently he probably feels bad. I mean, he lost his charge. He's talking about how Bowser stole it from him. Kind of unfortunate. But this is LuckySevenDX signing out. I will see you guys next time for more I was about to say Mario and Luigi. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Blah! Yeah, see you guys next time. Mario and Luigi, blah.